Hey everyone, welcome. This is a summary of Gilmore Girls based on my own take. Spoiler alert, major plot points ahead, so watch only if you're okay with that. Lorelai had Rory when she was just 15, and since then, she raised Rory by herself. When Rory was in high school, Lorelai was forced to ask for help from her parents, Emily and Richard, because Rory's tuition at Chilton was too expensive. Lorelai and her parents didn't have a good relationship. She wanted to distance herself from them as much as possible because their personalities often clashed. Emily and Richard, however, were delighted to have Lorelai and Rory back in their lives. They agreed to pay for Chilton, but on one condition: they must have dinner together every Friday. Rory started attending Chilton, maintaining her friendship with her neighbor Lane while meeting new friends as well. She got involved in a complicated friendship with Paris Geller, a very competitive student who initially saw Rory as a rival, but they eventually became close friends. Rory's first boyfriend was Dean. They started dating while Rory was still at Chilton. Dean was a good guy, he loved Rory, and Lorelai could see that he had good intentions. Their first breakup happened when Rory freaked out after Dean told her he loved her. They eventually got back together. They finally broke up for good when Rory started falling for Jess Mariano. Jess is Luke's troubled nephew. He was sent to live with Luke because he had been causing trouble. Luke tried to help him out, but Jess was already rebellious and didn't listen to anyone. He was only nice to Rory and he fell for her too. Lorelai didn't approve of Jess, but she couldn't do much when Jess and Rory started dating. Rory and Jess never officially broke up, but their relationship ended when Jess left. He had been struggling skipping school, fighting with Luke and Dean, and disappointing Rory. Rory got accepted to both Harvard and Yale. She always dreamed of going to Harvard, but after weighing her options, she chose Yale. She took up journalism, and to her surprise, ended up rooming with Paris Geller. In college, Rory reconnected with Dean. By then, he was already married to Lindsay. Rory slept with him. That was her first time. When Lorelai found out, she disapproved. She didn't want this for Rory, and it was wrong since Dean was still married. Dean's wife later found out after reading a letter Rory wrote to Dean saying goodbye. That ended things between them for good. Rory's boyfriend in college was Logan Huntsberger, who came from a very wealthy family. They started seeing each other casually at first, with no strings attached, but feelings grew and jealousy kicked in. Eventually, they made it official. Rory hit a rough patch in college and decided to take time off after Logan's father, Mitchum, told her she didn't have what it takes to be a journalist. She got discouraged and chose to leave Yale for a while. Lorelai was against this, and they argued. Rory ended up staying with Emily and Richard. Somehow, Jess and Rory bumped into each other and had a conversation. Their talk influenced Rory to return to Yale. Rory shared an apartment with Paris, but they eventually had a falling out. Paris was the editor-in-chief of the Yale Daily News, but she was very controlling, and the other writers started turning against her. Paris was ousted, and the rest of the staff decided to elect Rory as the new editor-in-chief. Paris took it personally and felt betrayed. She asked Rory to move out of their apartment. Logan came to the rescue, and Rory moved in with him. Logan and Rory's relationship became more serious. Even after Logan graduated and was sent to London for work, he still made time for Rory. As Rory was about to graduate, she started job hunting, which proved challenging. During a party at her grandparents' house to celebrate her graduation, Logan had other plans. She proposed to Rory. However, she didn't give an answer right away. At her graduation, Rory gave Logan her answer. She said no, not yet. She wasn't ready. She was willing to stay with him and try a long-distance relationship, but Logan said it was all or nothing. They broke up that day. Rory returned to Stars Hollow. Then, she received a call offering her a job. She would be covering a major event and would be leaving in just 3 days. She was going to be away for a very long time. The town had something planned for Rory, a reenactment of her graduation, but they had to cancel it because she needed to leave soon for her new job. Luke decided to go ahead with the celebration anyway. He took charge of the preparations, and the townspeople helped out. But when they found out a storm was coming, the excitement faded. Everyone else gave up, thinking there was no point. But Luke didn't. He gathered tents from around town and sewed them together. The party went on. While it was raining, Lorelai and Rory were driving through town and saw the celebration happening under the tent. Rory appreciated it deeply. Lorelai was also very thankful, and when she heard that it was all Luke's doing, she went to him, kissed him, and they got back together. Lorelai and Luke. Lorelai and Luke ended up together even, though it took them a long time to start dating. Lorelai had to get back with Christopher, and even got engaged to someone else. Max, Rory's teacher. Luke also married and divorced someone else. When they finally started dating, everyone in town was rooting for them, even though they both hesitated at first. They broke up when their wedding kept getting postponed. Luke had found out that he had a daughter, April, and devoted his time to her. He separated his time between April and Lorelai, which Lorelai understood at first, but she eventually got fed up. She asked Luke to marry her, to stop waiting, but he wasn't quick at making decisions and didn't want to be pressured. He hesitated that night, and Lorelai walked away. That same night, she went to Christopher's house and they slept together. Christopher Hayden is Rory's father. Eventually, Luke came to his senses and drove to Lorelai's, ready to marry her. He had everything planned and asked her to just take off with him and get married right then. But Lorelai declined, saying things were different now. She admitted she had slept with Christopher. Luke didn't say a word, he simply walked away, stopped by Christopher's, and punched him. Lorelai and Christopher started dating and they got married. They tied the knot while in Paris, and when they returned, they were already husband and wife. Christopher moved in with Lorelai in Stars Hollow. Their marriage was great at first, but things started to fall apart when Christopher became jealous, and everything else began to pile up. He found a letter Lorelai had written to a judge, a character reference for Luke to help him get custody of April. Christopher took it personally and left. While he was gone, Lorelai's father had a heart attack. He eventually recovered, and it took Christopher some time to return and be there for her. In the meantime, Luke was around bringing food, running errands, and helping out. Even when Christopher came back, things weren't the same. Their marriage ended. Lorelai was single again, and it took a while before she and Luke got back together. There were a lot of mixed signals, and they remained civil for some time. Eventually, they reunited after Rory's send-off party. The end of Gilmore Girls. That's the end of Gilmore Girls. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and check out my other summaries too.